Hello, Apra members. My name is Sebastian Belu. I'm a product marketing manager at iWave. Thank you for joining me for this Apra Byte Plan Giving 101. Today, I will briefly introduce you to plan giving, talk about why there has never been a better time to start a plan giving program, and I'll provide you some tips that can help you identify plan giving prospects. So what is plan giving? In a nutshell, plan giving is the process of making a significant charitable gift that goes to a charity in the future, usually when a donor dies, and it typically requires more thought and planning to execute than an average donation. One of the best parts of plan giving is that it's not only beneficial for your nonprofit, but advantageous for donors as well. So marketing and communicating this clearly to your prospects is the key to encouraging plan gifts. Some types of plan gifts include bequest, trust, appreciated securities, life insurance, real estate, retirement plans, and IRA rollovers. The most common plan gift is a bequest, which is a gift made through a will or a living trust. And this is a popular gift because it's the easiest to make and it costs nothing during a donor's lifetime. In fact, 90% of all plan gifts come through wills and trusts. So why should nonprofits invest in plan giving? Next, we'll talk about several benefits that come with a plan giving program. Plan gifts have wide-reaching effects, not only for your organization, but your donors as well. Benefits to the donor include tax deductions. It provides a vehicle for supporting their passions for years to come. And plan giving cements a philanthropic legacy. Now, it's important to keep in mind that plan giving is also a very delicate type of philanthropy as it goes hand in hand with someone's passing. The benefits to your organization are important, but you should always think of your supporters first. There are also a number of benefits for nonprofit organizations. The first benefit is the fact that it forces organizations to shift their focus from short-term to long-term. By building a proactive plan giving program, organizations are better able to secure their future. Another benefit is a wider donor reach. It opens the door for donations from a wide variety of donors, regardless of their current wealth. Those without the necessary funds to make a major gift from a discretionary income can actually do so with a plan gift. And by expanding the playing field that donors can participate in, plan giving also creates more opportunities to gain substantial donations. So once in place, in many cases, plan giving or plan gifts will make up some of the most substantial donations your nonprofit receives each year. According to a report from Sharp Group, the average size bequest at median was in the range of $25,000 to $100,000 in 2018, and the average bequest in the US and Canada is $35,000. And because plan gifts are generally large and often relatively low cost to secure, studies also show that it has the highest rate on investment of any development activity. And there's more. There is a myth that plan giving can cannibalize annual giving. However, multiple studies have shown that donors who add charities to their wills actually increase their annual giving in the following years. Some studies have shown that plan giving leads to a 75% increase in annual giving. Something else that is interesting is the fact that plan gifts aren't exclusive, meaning that small dollar donors make up the majority of plan gifts because it doesn't affect everyday cash flow. While we may usually think of plan givers as the top tier of the pyramid, only leaving plan gifts after they become annual or major donors, the reality actually looks different. This wraps up the benefits of plan giving. Next, we're going to look at why now is the best time to invest in a plan giving program. Baby boomers are the wealthiest generation in American history, and they're predicted to pass down $30 trillion over the next few decades. It's the so-called Great Wealth Transfer. In Canada, it's projected that approximately $1 trillion in personal wealth will be transferred from one generation to the next between 2016 and 2026. This great opportunity is backed by the latest data from Giving USA. Americans gave $471 billion to U.S. charities in 2020, and giving by bequest totaled $41.91 billion, or 9% of all gifts made. This was a new record after a 10.3% growth from 2019, and we think this positive trend will continue in the near future. So it's really a historic opportunity. But many nonprofit organizations struggle to find an effective way to identify legacy donors. When you think about it, given that nearly anyone can make a planned gift to a charity of their choice, virtually anyone can be a planned giving prospect. So while this is a tremendous opportunity, it also creates a serious challenge. Organizations don't have unlimited resources, so they have to be selective about who they focus their efforts on. So what steps can you take to identify planned giving prospects? The first step is to query your donor database using age as a factor. Focus on people between 45 and 75, as this is when the average American writes their first will, and a large percentage never rewrite it. So if you're only focusing on people over 60, you're missing a large group of prospective donors. Step 2 is to further filter the list based on donors who give to you frequently. And we suggest at least 10 gifts. Step 3, further segment on recency. So focus on anyone who has given in the last 3 years. Over 3 years, and the likelihood to convert them goes down considerably. And finally, step 4, additional data like insiders in U.S. Securities and Exchange Commission or giving to similar organizations can be critical as well. This is external data that a vendor will most likely need to supply. And speaking of external vendors, some fundraising intelligence platforms can make this easier for you by automatically ranking a prospect's giving potential. You should look for a vendor that assesses each prospect for their planned giving potential by tapping into robust data such as affinity to your cause, and uses your recency and frequency data to provide you comprehensive results. Keep in mind that affinity is an important factor. Just because someone has a high capacity to give and a history of giving, they may not be inclined to give their wealth unless they have a connection to your cause. So this is why affinity is very important. I hope this bite will inspire you to consider starting a planned giving program. Thank you for joining me for this Apra Byte. And that is it.